All right, so it's 3 p.m. and a very good afternoon to all of you. We are all set to begin with our today's webinar. In today's rapidly evolving world, effective leadership has become more crucial than ever before. As technology advances, societal values shift, and global challenges emerge. Leaders are faced with unique complexities and unprecedented demands. Leading people in current times requires a combination of adaptability, empathy, and visionary thinking. Once again, I welcome all our participants to this exciting series where HRAI, along with Great Manager Institute, brings to you the 2023 Dialogue Masterclass series on the topic Leading People in the Current Times. Great Manager Institute conducts the Great People Manager Survey in India and compiles the esteemed list of the top 100 great people managers. We are pleased to announce that we have the privilege of hosting 5 such managers from this renowned list. They will be sharing their valuable insights on leading teams in the current times. Join us as we learn from these exceptional managers and gain practical knowledge on enhancing our own leadership skills. To know more about HRA and Great Manager Institute, I would request all our participants to visit the link posted in the chat window. Request all the participants to kindly follow the webinar guidelines mentioned in the chat window. It's my privilege to introduce our masterclass speaker for today's session and would like to also congratulate him on this achievement. Mr. Vaishal Dalal, Chairman, Co-founder and Director of Excellent Global Endeavors LLP. Mr. Vaishal is a chartered accountant by education, a hardcore marketer by profession, and a passionate entrepreneur by heart. He became one of the youngest CAs in 2011 by wrapping up every level in the first go. In the same year, he chose to try his hands at his passion of marketing before he joined the bandwagon of the finance jobs. One of his best friends from the school joined his efforts. They formed Excellent Publicity, a 360-degree media agency aimed at giving brands and startups the visibility, ROI, and growth from the perspective not looked at before by the existing players. Their passion picked up the momentum from the word go, and soon they succeeded in becoming one of the top 100 promising marketing and advertising companies of the world, after also being awarded Young Achievers of Gujarat and Mumbai icons. You can follow him on LinkedIn. The link for the same has been shared in the chat window. So, without wasting much time, I will hand over the platform to Mr. Vaishal to take this discussion forward. Over to you, Mr. Vaishal.
Hi, Faisal. Thank you so much for the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Vaishal Dalal. I'm co-founder and director at Excellent Publicity. It has been an honor to be named as one of the top 100 great people managers of India, and I am very much thankful to HRAI and Great Manager Institute. January 2011 is when I cleared my CA, and a lot was being thought upon. What should I do? What should I do? But Manan joined my efforts in starting Excellent Publicity, and having no work experience before. As soon as I completed my CA, we started Excellent Publicity. So neither of us had any experience, any work experience, any professional work experience of any corporate or any small firm for that sake. But yeah, we jumped with the honest intention, and it was a clear objective that we want to build a company that will be known for years to come. And slowly and gradually, we started getting success because obviously our hearts were at the right place, our intentions were right, and soon from zero, we started working for around 3,000 plus clients. By now, we have worked for over 150,000, so 150,000 plus campaigns, advertising campaigns over a period of last 12 years. Our team is now from zero to 120 plus. At this point of time, we are almost around 110, 120, quite young and enthusiastic team. Like I said, having no work experience, initially it was quite difficult to manage the team, to balance out the interests of the organization and all. But over a period of time, as I said, we had our hearts at the right place, emotions at the right place, and the objective was clear. We want to build a company that will be remembered over years in the world. And it's not only us who want to grow in our journey. We want to take everyone along, everyone who is part of excellent publicity, who is associated with excellent publicity, to grow along with us. And that's what our intentions were. And probably that is why I can humbly say that today, like, after the intensive survey by Great Manager Institute, I was named as the one of the top 100 people manager. Now, I would say, who is a great manager? Who is a great manager? What is that defines an individual as a great manager? What I believe is, over the years, we have defined personal life and professional life, and we have defined that life at work should be professional. Somehow I find that word as a cliche with the new generation that has come in, with the kind of expectation that employees have from today's companies, today's manager, today's world. What I figured out is, to be a good manager, to be able to manage the team properly, first you have to be a good individual. If you are a good individual, and if as a human being you have your heart and emotions at the right place, you would understand that managing a team is like a chessboard. A chessboard has different characters, different with different abilities, different skills. While their way of working may be different, but there is no right or wrong in that. And so, to manage the team, you have to understand from the perspective of your team members, where you have to understand first their strength, their weaknesses, their skills, and their also their upbringing, how they were cultured beforehand, because that would somewhere affect as to what works for them, what does not work for them. And so accordingly, if as a manager you understand what their skill sets are, what works best out of them, accordingly you start working with them, and that's how you extract the best out of them. Once you understand what your team expects out of you, like I've told this n number of times to the team leaders that I have in my team, that over the years, the way any business or team used to work has changed. During maybe our parents or our grandparents, it was like boss is always right. The boss used to give orders, and employees used to work accordingly, and the teams used to work likewise. Now the scenario is completely different. Now I truly believe is, now employees run the show, the team runs the show, and the manager has to do what best he or she can do to keep that balance between what employees expectations are and what the organization wants from. What I would say is, as a, like, if you are looking to be a great manager, you have to train yourself to mm, build leaders within, from within your team members and from within the organization that you run. When we, like, there is a quote: when we tell people to do their jobs, we create workers, but when we trust people to get the job done, we create leaders. And now is the time when it is required, the complexity, the challenges, the competition, it is required that a great manager builds a team of leaders rather than a team of followers. Because it's about taking a leverage of any particular skill set. Like, for example, if one brain, two hands, two legs, if we are working on one thing, we'll be able to grow maybe 1x, maybe 2x over the years. But today everyone wants to grow 10x, 20x, 30x. And if at all we want to grow 30x, we have to understand how to take leverage of things around us, people around us. Like, there is another quote which says, leader is not something who knows everything or who are best at everything. In fact, leaders, great leaders are those who gathers a team, a group of people who are great at different things, various skill sets, and then builds into one team. When that happens, now for doing a simple task, you have 300 different brains, you have so many legs, so many hearts, so many hands to work on. And that's where you are able to easily grow 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x. From March 2021 to March 2023, in these last 2 years, where COVID struck after, like, after the COVID year, what I'm talking about, March 20 to March 21, that was the COVID year where everyone struggled. We are into advertising. If businesses are not going on well, it is not possible that people would spend on advertising. So April 2020, I still remember one single decision that changed everything for us. There were various WhatsApp groups being formed, uh, various communications being done within the industry and from outside the industry, that no one will pay 100% salaries to their employees, because if one company pays 100% salaries to the team, like obviously they would start approaching they would start poaching efforts. A lot of people will join them, leave my companies and stuff. At that point of time, we made a single call that no matter what happens, we will not deduct a single rupee of salary or any kind of layoff, because of one simple reason. I started excellent publicity because I wanted to take a risk. It's high risk, high return game. Someone who is working in my team is working in the team because they did not want to take the risk. If I did not share uh, profits with them when I made before COVID, why should I share losses when I am suffering, when my business is suffering? That one single decision changed everything for us, because we decided that we will not deduct salaries. Now, in order to be able to pay salaries, it we had to get some sort of revenues. Markets were shut down completely. People were not doing anything. But since we had to shell out salaries, we had to shell out few fixed overheads. That's the reason entire team started working so hard, and we created so many new different avenues where which we earlier could not think of, and that paid us revenues, that paid us heavily when the markets restarted. We got the team's loyalty, we got the longevity from the team because they understood what we did, from what we committed them over years, where everyone was struggling, but we were getting full salaries and everything. They paid me back so handsomely that in from March 21, like in financial year 2021, we achieved 80% of pre-COVID revenue. But in March 21, once everything started falling in place, from March 21 to March 23, we did 4x jump. So in fact, yesterday only I made my turnover chart, which read that we are following straight upline in last 2 years. And that happened just because of one single step, that we will not deduct salary. So what leverage can do, what empathy can do, what probably karma can do. So, as I said, to be a great manager, we have to train ourselves to be a great individual. Think from the perspective of what our teams go through, what their mindset. A lot of times, there are arguments happening within our team or within the organization or whatsoever. And at that point of time, uh, as a human being, no matter how professional you are, uh, you tend you are bound to be upset that no matter what we do, they are always against me. They never see good in what I am doing for them or something. But later on, I realized that apparently it's not a conflict with me. It's other way around. It's a conflict. They are not against me. They are not against me. Apparently, they are thinking for themselves. So half of the problems get solved in today's world. When we talk about leading the people in today's times, half of the problems get solved when we think from their perspective, when we put ourselves into their shoes. What do they think? what do they go through, and that's where things immediately change. So it's like, a lot of people, I meet a lot of people for investments, for funding, and a lot of investors primarily, and they see my emotions for the team, and they say, okay, it's not worth it to go professional, to be personal, and be with emotions. But I believe completely differently. Times have changed now, where you have to be real you. As a manager, as a founder, as someone who is leading a team, you have to be personal with empathy. You have to be real you. And when I'm saying real you cannot showcase your fake side, which is not you, because eventually down the line, your behavior, your decisions, that eventually will show that. So
Hello, Mr. Vaishal. So request the participants to please be online. The speaker will be there in few minutes. Yeah, you need to unmute yourself. We cannot hear you. You need to unmute yourself.
Yeah, Vishal, you have the power slides now.
yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So the point is, as leaders, you have to be personal with empathy. You have to put yourself in their shoes. Also, you have to lead from the front. Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma cannot just get out on zero and expect everyone to make centuries. So the time today is something where you have to lead from the front, show and tell. Also, the most crucial part that over the period of times have changed, and especially after COVID, is flexibility. Like, obviously, when you run an organization, when you run a team, discipline is going to be at the core of it. Discipline is absolutely going to be at the core of it. But then the people today, they expect flexibility. Now flexibility, giving flexibility is a bit difficult, because you have to achieve your deadlines, customers and feedbacks and a lot of things. For that to happen, we have to, as managers, we have to clearly define the checklist, the checkpoints, and we have to ensure that despite the kind of flexibility, freedom that we give, we are able to maintain the deadlines or achieve the deadlines that we want to achieve. But if we do not give flexibility, it is a high possibility that we may not be a likable manager. which apparently we really work hard on it. So flexibility, giving space and freedom is something that is very much necessary. The another crucial part of managing the people in current times is the depth of your connection with the team. A lot of people, as I said, professionalism is a cliche. Um, when you run a team, you have to run it like it's your family. You have to run like they are your babies. Uh, I know. Over a period of time, it is difficult to take their emotions and their problems in your life because you are also struggling with your own struggles. But once you have, when you have that depth in your connection, the kind of loyalty that you earn from your team, because they understand that you are honest with them. Try to in you try to take your time. You indulge in their personal problems and emotions and try to resolve. That's where you get everything. When they know that my leader, my manager is there to support me, back me up when I'm down, in their capabilities, they will give everything for you, and that will eventually lead a lot of success for you. Because as I said, we are talking about leverage here, that instead of one person, we are getting 100, 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 people, 100 brains to work on a single thing. So in order to be able to do that, these are the things that as managers we need to take care of. Another crucial part, which I believe is the main thing for any leader in today's world. Overall, let's say even if as a manager you are not being able to leverage, you are so busy, or you are so stuck in the list of tasks to do in your case, it's fine. But as a manager, to lead a team properly, something that you cannot escape is this: training and motivation. Probably as a manager, if you take care of this two things, your job is totally done. How? I'll just explain. Training and motivation is why the key. Now, in any organization, there are different kinds of people. One who is highly skilled. Second, who may not be highly skilled. So, sort of with a low skill. One with a very high will to do things uh, proactively, and there is someone who does not have that great will, low will to do things proactively. So if you prepare a chart, there will be people who will have high skill and high will. You will have people with high skill and low will. You will have people with high will but low skill, and you will have low will with people with low skill. Now, if you have to identify that in your team, how many are with high skill and high will. If there is a proactive person who is a skilled as well as he has a strong will to work things out, you your job is done. You don't have to do anything on them, and just let them fly. Just be them who they are, and just help them remove whatever obstacles that they face, whatever bottlenecks that they face, and your job will be done. Then there is another set of people who are highly skilled, but they do not have that much will, maybe because of their personal struggles or maybe whatsoever reasons. In this case, since you know that if at all you can boost up their will, they are highly skilled. And if they are highly skilled, they will be eventually uh, productive for your organization if you are able to boost up their will. Now, in this case, you will have to motivate. You will have to find out what their struggle is. Maybe you sit with them one to one and see why they are vulnerable, why their willpower is being affected, that they are not being able to put their skills to the best show. Once you do that, once you boost up their will, again, they will be productive. Then there is another who have tons of firepower to do things, but they are not skilled. Now, in this case, training is crucial. Since their willpower is solid, since they have that firepower, that hunger to achieve a lot of things, to do a lot of things, all that you need to do is train them. Once you are able to train them, and now that does not mean you personally give your time to train them. Identify people who will be able to, skill upskill your fire the firecrackers of the organization better, and accordingly with the proper training you'll be able to utilize them well. Now the fourth, where skill is low, will is low. They are probably the recruitments done wrongly. They are probably the ones, like, obviously firing people is not a solution. If you are a great manager, I wouldn't any way suggest to fire someone. I know as an organization perspective, at times you need to do that, but do that as a last resort only after giving your best motivation, giving your best training, giving ample opportunities for them to perform, making ticking all checkpoints, checklists, try everything. But if it does not work, then obviously those people need to leave the organization. But yeah, if we are able to identify our team in these four categories and accordingly devote our time for motivation as well as training, as a manager, your job is done. And then you just have to keep working to ensure they do not face any obstacles or bottlenecks. If they do, help and remove. If you do this, you don't need to do anything else, because since they are motivated, they are skilled, they will do the rest. Like in our parents and grandparents times, there weren't major generational gaps. The generations weren't so complex, and that's why managing a team was not probably that difficult, because obviously the chart was different. The workflow and the kind of expectations were flowing from the top. Like now, as I said, now the generation is such where employers have to behave and perform the way employees want. Situations are bit different. Now there are four generations at work, at our workplace right now. One is baby boomers. Baby boomers now are like, people since till 1964, who were born till 1964 from 1945. Baby boomers are like majorly our parents or grandparents. In their scenario, in that times, obviously the opportunities were limited, and so they were quite loyal. And obviously at that point of time, after independence, survival was also a key in India. So they were looking for survival. They were looking for any kind of opportunity that is thrown at them, and they will grab them without thinking whether they like it or not. Then came Gen X, who were pretty taken care of by the survival part. Gen X is the people from 1965 or 1966 to 1980. Now they are majorly our parents, or at least my parents, and they were the people who were looking for innovations, who were looking to create more opportunities, who were getting better at communication, better at professional dealings, and a lot of things. So they were quite done away with the struggle part. I'm sure a lot of people may have seen Rajiv Talreja's viral video where he says that the generation is different, where our grandparents took care of survival, our parents took care of standard of living, and now my generation, which is millennial from 1980 to 1995, 96, we are the ones who are tech savvy, who are looking for better growth, collaboration, bigger objective like ecosystem and a lot of sustainability and stuff. We are also looking at, as millennials, we are also looking at meaningful work where you can constantly upskill yourself with a sort of flexibility where you can do a lot of things on your personal side as well. And then came Gen Zs. Now, obviously, like for an example, in my organization, 90% of the team members are Gen Zs. There is a meme circulated where Gen Z says that sometime I also don't know what my generation wants. And that's how it is. Gen Zs are digital tech savvy generations who are actually not looking at work, who are actually looking at a fun place. Uh, for them, work is secondary. Fun is something that they are looking at in anything that they do, like kick, what you can say. So these people are extremely digital. They are obsessed with quick growth. Like having said that, like after COVID, India got that entrepreneurship wave as well as that funding wave, and every Gen Z has read the stories of quick money, quick success, and a lot of flourishing. So yes, they are someone who are looking to grow quite fast. They are practical also because their survival is taken care of, their standard of living is taken care of. They have all the sorts of technology and information available to them, all sorts of opportunities available to them. So obviously the loyalty has diminished a lot. And but obviously if they are practical also, that if at all they get a fun place to work, a better work culture to work at, they will give their best show. Because in all the generation, Gen Zs are the people who are the best at work, best at skills. Because overall, this is what is imbibed overall through the generation, the grandparents, the parents, uh, the millennials and the Gen Z. So they have got a lot of things, but from workplace they expect a flourishing career. They expect a competent manager. And as I said, Gen Zs expect a lot out of the managers, and the managers has to keep on the toes to achieve that for the Gen Zs. And so overall, the interpersonal communication over the generation, that is getting quite complex. But as simple as that, if you understand them, if you empathize with them, then for me, once you understand their side of story, I don't think so that it's going to be a problem. But as I said, longevity is the issue that a lot of businesses face, including ourselves. Like uh, a lot of people, a lot of questions are being asked. Ki, it's okay, I am giving my best show, but I am not being able to retain the talent. So how to retain the talent? That's a challenge being faced by you, me, and every business out there, every manager out there. Now, these are the few points that I have identified as far as I have run my organization over the last 12 years. First, salaries have to be on time. It's after COVID, there have been a lot of uncertainties, a lot of chaos. And as I said, people are exposed to social media, the good and bad side of social media. And so people have been learning about the layoffs and the salary delays and everything. So the work life balance and the quality of life that they expect, salaries must be on time, on first or last day of the month or seventh or whatsoever date has been finalized as per the rules and policy. Secondly, appraisals and incentives. Appraisals and incentives hold a key, because now is the generation that we are dealing with who are not looking for a single source of revenue. They want multiple source of revenue. uh, Depending on your industry, you may or you may not allow your team to do any other jobs. But if that happens, which we call moonlighting. Now if that happens, they, like, let's say in your industry it cannot be allowed, or it's whatever they are starting up, it's competing to your business, obviously you cannot allow. But in that case, they look for second source of revenue, which is through appraisals or incentives. So that has to be properly crafted, properly drafted, and released at the right time. Obviously you have your own limitations about the fund crunch, liquidity, but this is something that needs to be managed. The third is career growth. As far as millennials and Gen Zs are concerned, both these generations expect career growth on a continuous basis. They don't like uh, monotonous tasks. They don't like mundane tasks. They don't like going on forever with this. They want change. They constantly want, my manager is going to be able to provide me with the career growth and stuff. So that is something which you must imbibe in your culture or your plan or your vision, where you are able to give your time the career growth, your team the growth that they are expecting. Now the growth will expect, growth will happen eventually through multiple things. One of the core thing is upskilling. There are various courses happening around the world, various seminars, various conferences and all. Make your team be part of it. Make your team participate in those. And at times, if you need to pay on behalf of them, it's okay, go ahead with that. But you need to make them be a part of places, conferences, seminars, where they meet people, where they face challenges, because they love challenges, and that's how they'll be upskilling themselves. A lot of us face a kind of dilemma that, if we throw them out in the open market, people will poach them or not. But let us understand one thing: they anyway have access. Others have access to them any which ways. So if one person wants to leave. If someone wants to poach your team, they are anyway going to do that. But if you upskill, if you believe in themselves, if you give them the growth that they are looking for, they will be loyal to you. It is difficult to earn that loyalty, but it is not impossible. Once you do these difficult steps, you will earn their loyalty. Like as when I talk about career growth, uh, it also means that clear promotion plan. After a point of time, in like in older organizations that I see or the clients I meet, I often see that after a point of time there is a dead end for promotion. When you have a dead end in the promotion, then obviously your growth will not be happening apart from monetary. But as I said, the current two generations, they are not looking for only monetary growth, but they are looking for growth on multiple levels. So have a clear promotion plan in place. And then quality of life. Now, one is about the work culture. As I said, when I talk about work culture, Gen Zs and millennials, they are looking at a fun place to work. They want to have fun while working. There is a tremendous peer pressure where uh, a lot of people are constantly comparing their experience and themselves with other organizations, other their friends working in different organizations, and they compare that my office does this, my office does that. Overall, what they are looking at is flexibility and fun. So create a work culture within your team or within your organization that blooms respect, care, and connections. Also, work-life balance. It's okay. Deadlines and all. It's a pretty discipline and stressful stuff. So in that case, overtime and all, they are bound to come. But majority of times, your office should be empty at the closing hours. It should not be going on for nights. People should be able to enjoy work and life out of their dedication, out of their commitment, out of commitment of the job role, that if they are doing it willingly, fair. But do not expect them to do something on a continuous basis that affects their work life balance. Overall, as a manager, you need to do a lot of things, but you also need to communicate to your team members whenever they join or during the interview session that what is expected out of them. I would suggest, or I have also imbibed this in my team as well, as I have asked my HR to communicate this during the interviews, where inform your team, inform the new members coming in that what should they expect. So I guess this is the training part which must happen at the induction, where they are being told that be nice. Like as manager is expected to be real nice human being. Likewise, in induction, the candidates must be told that be real nice, be real you. And if you be real, obviously the people will be real to you. And in induction, so I use this statement a lot to my team, that always as a manager, trust your team 100% unless you have a reason not to trust. Unless they give you a reason not to trust them, please trust your team completely. Do not micromanage. If you trust them, they will trust you back, because human relations is a weird science where what you think or feel for someone, they will feel the same thing about you, whether you have expressed it explicitly or whether you have behaved it explicitly. The vibes are something that will eventually send your message. So be real, actual nice. Also, in the induction stage, you will have to inform the candidates not to play politics. Politics, gossiping is a part of any work culture, and that's bound to happen. But that is also a reason for work culture being toxic. And that is something that from induction stage, candidate must be told again and again not to indulge in politics. Any new candidate, like obviously they want to achieve a lot of things, but that may hurt their seniors, their egos and attitudes. And no matter what we do in human relationships, egos are something that needs to be taken care of. So any new candidate must be trained that observe first. Give yourself 2 months, learn everything that is happening within your team, learn the people in your team, and speak later. Give your opinions later. First, just observe. First, just learn about the person, the things, the tasks, the goals, and the achievements that you are expected to achieve. And for this presentation, no matter what we say, don't judge a book by its cover and stuff, but how you present yourself, how you appear, how you walk, how you talk, how you behave, all of these matter. And that's the reason I believe very strongly that the way you present yourself, you appear, that needs to be trained, that needs to be told during the induction to the team. Like, if you observe everything, you will be able to align yourself to your team's expectations and everything. And that's what, as manager, we should do. And we should imbibe that in the team as well. And the one best thing which I just thought of, like, while I'm talking, I just thought of that, what if as manager we ask our team not to submit daily work reports, because daily work reports is something that current generation is not going to like. They believe it's a waste of time or something when we have checkpoints and targets and incentives in place. But instead of that, what we can ask for them is, every Friday before leaving the office, what did you do on Monday to Friday? Just drop an email. What did you learn? Like, we can create a checklist. We can create a certain questionnaire, including certain questions that, what is the best thing that you did during the week? What is the overall work number of clients you talked with, or whatsoever fits in their profile? And this is what we can design completely. And every Friday, every team member drops this email to their immediate manager or their superior or to super boss or whatsoever. So everyone in the hierarchy are aware as to what the team has done. And in the next week, maybe it was underproductive, overproductive, whatsoever, and we'll be able to define their tasks in the next week. And as manager, we'll also be able to define whether the team member is productive and what can we do so that they are more productive, or if they are overloaded, we can shift that to someone else. So overall, as I say, it is not a simple job to manage a team in today's world. A manager is expected to collaborate, communicate, challenge, upskill, make things easier, participate, constantly share feedbacks, constant learn, celebrate each and every success, recognition, and at times let go of credit for something that they did. But to motivate people, they have to let go of something. Be real, be human, empathize, uh, empower, inspire, and at times throw some of the worst jokes to make people smile, because humor is also something that is that makes things quite lighter with all the stress, competition, and challenges that teams and we face. So smiles, jokes, even if they are worst PJs ever, such things help. It's an entire ecosystem to manage and lead people in current times. But when you see smiles and success on the faces of your team in their career, that's the most beautiful feeling. And so it's worth all of these challenge. That's it.
True, Mr. Vaishal. Thank you. Before we take our participants' questions, we will be initiating the poll. So request all the participants to kindly share your feedback. While doing so, request all the participants to kindly post their questions in the chat window. Once again, I thank all our participants for joining our session today. We have received a lot of inquiry about the participation e-certificate offered by HREI and GMI. You can claim your e-certificate by sharing your details, name and session attended in an email to the email ID provided in the chat window. Please ensure you do this by the end of the day today. We will email the e-certificates to you based on the details received. Mr. Vaishal, we have received some questions from the registrations. So if you don't mind, I can.
Yeah. I would love to.
Yeah. So the first.
Am I allowed to participate in the poll?
Yeah, you can. So the first question that is, with an increasing focus on sustainability and corporate social responsibilities, How can leaders integrate their values into their organizations and inspire their employees to do the same?
Like I said, being a good manager now, it's not just dependent on how good or skilled you are at work. It's overall about being a good human being, good individual. So it's not just professional anymore. With your team, the kind of complexity challenges everyone faces in everyone's lives, it's no more professional only part. You have to imbibe good values in personal lives and in the characters of your team also. And that is something that is something very much crucial right now. I always tell my team that it's okay, you may not get something good in return, but always keep giving your best, whether in personal life and professional life. Because whether someone did bad or good to you, you will never be able to you have to continuously give good things to people. You cannot stop doing good things, and that's what we need to focus on. Now when you imbibe something like this, obviously when it's about corporate governance, or whenever it's about some charity, or whether it's about good practice, like for an example, not to throw waste on the roads or something of that sort. This is also something which I believe is a duty of the manager now. I often, so this is my dream, this is my goal, and this is what I also communicate with the team, that I have no control over your personal lives. You may be facing a lot of struggles and challenges on personal lives, but it is my dream to make this part of your life so beautiful that helps in overcoming your challenges in personal lives. So yeah, that's what.
Thank you, Mr. Vishal. Appreciate your thorough and well-reasoned response. The second question, I think we have received one question from the participant from Bhavesh Desai, saying, what is more important, will or skill? For me, will is most important. Skill can be imparted, will can't.
Okay.
I believe he
Skill
just,
and will.
yeah.
Skill and will, both are necessary. Both are necessary in today's world, in today's challenges. Unless you are lucky enough, you will grow without either of it. But skill and will, both are required. Now let's say you did not get chance in your life earlier to either uh, upskill yourself, or you have been in such a scenario, such a your growing up or your upbringing has been such that you have not been able to be strong enough, be like, you don't have strong willpower. It's okay. From today onwards also, if you want to skill yourself, there are variety of courses, there are variety of programs available out there. You can learn, you can upskill yourself. Over in the past, in the past, when there were lack of opportunities, you had to have certain skill sets in order to be able to be a successful. But now scenarios are different. People are doing, people are just dancing and still they are rock stars. People are doing a lot of stuff that we do not make sense of, but still they are successful. They are the being celebrated as heroes. So it's okay. Every human being has some sort of skill sets available. You just have to find that and you have to explore that. Once you are able to do that, it's all about the willpower game. Now, willpower is something about your own confidence, own motivation. What I believe is, whether it's health, whether it's what we do, everything is a willpower game. If you have a strong willpower, you'll be able to survive in the worst times. And it's something that comes from within. You will have to train yourself to be proactive, to have a strong willpower, a strong mental power. Literally, this willpower can help you avoid some illness as well, or help you recover faster if you have a strong willpower. So the presence of both skill as well as will, both are in your hands. It's okay if you did not focus on that so far. You can start it from today also, and you can still be successful. because you can upskill yourself, you can motivate yourself. But motivation you have to find from within. There are a lot of podcasts, there are a lot of videos, there are a lot of courses available for something like that. But everything will fail if it does not come from within. So you have to prepare yourself for that. But yeah, without either of skill or will, there will be a limitation of growth. And when both of them can be worked upon, why to be limited? Touch the skies.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Vishal. I believe Bhavesh must have got the desired answer to his question. So looking at the time constraint, we'll just go with one last question. The question is, how can leaders promote a positive work culture and maintain employee morale in challenging times?
Honestly, it's challenging. Now I have gone through this. So COVID 2020, I lost 5 kilogram in that 1 month, because it was really challenging to first motivate yourself. Your business is not running, it's completely doomed. And at that point of time, you have to take care of your and your family's health, and at the same time, you have to take care of the struggles the team is facing. So yeah, it's challenging, but as I said, everything comes from within. So uh, to maintain the morale of your team, manager has to take up that responsibility, where the manager has to motivate, keep themselves motivated to give out his best, and give that faith to the team that no matter what happens, I am there for you, I am there with you. And constantly give them ideas, overcome the problems they are facing, remove obstacles, remove bottlenecks. Like I get a lot of uh, team members. So I have a habit where I interact one to one with each of the team members. And when I do that, I get to understand the challenges that they are facing, the struggles, whether personal or professional. I do not differentiate. The main reason being, I've not done a job. I don't know what is the professional boundaries, and probably I believe that's the biggest strength that I have. I don't know how organizations work, and that's where I get involved with the challenges that my team is facing. And when I hear that, when I put myself into their shoes, I am able to understand that what needs to be done. Every problem has a solution. It's just that you should have the ability, or you should have the what do we say? So I tell my team, niyat hogi to sab hoga. If you have the will to resolve something, every problem has a solution. So you will be able to find a solution, and eventually you'll be able to solve that. Plus, as I said, I throw random PJs, random jokes, constant smiles, humor. This thing is also necessary. Also, few engagement activities, games. In our offices, randomly we bring out karaoke sessions. Since 2016, we have started team trips that helps people to relax, to bond, and do a lot of things together. So that is something that we have done. We have gone to Bali, Thailand on a fully sponsored trips. It is difficult now because we are a team of 100 plus, so it becomes difficult. But yeah, figuring out something. So there are constant efforts a manager has to put in to be able to ensure that the team feels forgets every problem of their lives when they are with you. They are at the work, which the life which you can really control, as far as whether they can be happy or not. So this is what it's a constant effort, it's a constant journey, it's an entire ecosystem. Leadership is an entire ecosystem.
Thank you, Mr. Vishal, for answering all our questions so comprehensively. Thank you for this intriguing session. Your presentation, I'm sure our participants have had a lot to learn and take away from this session. I sincerely thank Great Manager Institute for their association and support extended. This session would not have been possible without Great Manager Institute, where we are privileged to be working with them on this series. Though we all know about GMI, I would want to welcome Mr. Ojesh from GMI to talk more on the institute. Ojesh? I don't think Mojis is there. So thank you so much once again, Mr. Vaishal, for this beautiful
Thank you,
session.
Faisal, for giving me this opportunity. It was fun. I hope the
Same here,
participants,
same here.
I
We
could
would
give
also
something
love to
out to
host
the
you again.
participants.
True. So we would also love to host you again very soon. Thank you.
Absolutely pleasure. Thank you to HRAI and the Great Manager Institute.
Also,
Thank you to all the participants. I hope I could be I could give some productive input to all of you.
absolutely. The whole 1 hour was a very insightful session, no doubt about that. Mr.
Thank you
Vaishal.
so much,
So
Faisal, for being so kind.
also would like to thank all our participants for joining us today. Do join us for our next session by Lata Chemudupati, Head People and Culture of Connect Global on 30th of June 2023. That's it from our today's webinar. Hope to see you soon. Stay safe, take care, and bye for now. Thank you, Mr. Vaishal. Bye.
Bye.